the impeachment trial should run. We'll have the lowdown right now.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Sorry for the technical difficulties there, and good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. We do have a warmer holiday weekend ahead. Let's turn it right over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese with the, I think, good news for most people, Chris?
Hey, this is something to smile about, all right? If we're not having a snowy holiday season, we might as well have a mild holiday season, and that's how things are shaping up. We've been variably cloudy as we have gone through today. Temperatures are just downright comfortable for this time of the year. 36 degrees right now. There's a wind chill of 29, but nonetheless, you stand in the rays of sun. It feels a little bit better outside. 37 for Janesville. Kenosha already at 40. Mineral Point and Lone Rock knocking on the door of 40, and then Boscobel has surpassed that by 1 degree. Folks, as we go through this afternoon, get used to that number 40, because I think that's about where we all shape up. But we even get milder, folks. As we go through the weekend, I think we're going to be talking some temperatures close to 50. We're quiet through Christmas Eve. There's a little system that comes our way for Christmas Day. And I do think winter either returns on or just after Christmas. We're going to be talking that full long-range pattern in just a few minutes.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Chris. New at noon, students in Middleton are demanding better resources and support for survivors of sexual assault and harassment. Students from Clark Street Community School and Middleton High School held a walkout this morning. Speakers addressed the reporting process, saying they weren't sure where to go and that if they did speak up, they didn't feel like they were being truly listened to. This protest had to be postponed after a threat on Instagram shut down the high school last week. We will hear from students tonight on News 3 Now. Madison police are investigating a shooting after a man showed up to a hospital on South Park Street with a gunshot wound last night. Police say the victim will be okay. They're asking anyone who may have information, though, to contact the Madison Area Crime Stoppers line. Brendan Dassey will not be pardoned by the state. Governor Tony Evers' pardon board has officially denied the request, saying Dassey is ineligible. You may remember Dassey and his uncle Stephen Avery were the center of a Netflix series called Making a Murderer. When Dassey was 16 years old, he confessed to helping Avery murder photographer Teresa Hallbach in Manitowoc County back in 2005. According to a release from the governor's office, the board requires 5 years to have passed after the completion of a sentence in order to consider a pardon request from someone convicted of a crime. Dassey is currently serving a life sentence. The governor says he's also ineligible, though, because he's required to register as a sex offender. Milwaukee County investigators are trying to find out who was responsible for stealing vases from grave sites sometime between late September and early October. Officials at Washington County Memorial Park in West Bend realized about 50 bronze vases had been stolen. Those are valued at more than $20,000. Less than a month later, Pine Lawn Cemetery in Wauwatosa discovered it was also missing vases. There, more than 230 were gone, totaling more than $100,000 in value.
We had the police check with all our local guys right away, their scrap yards, and notify them. And then I notified our Catholic cemetery in town, too, to keep an eye out. But we haven't heard anything back. But yes, that's what we're hoping.
According to a search warrant affidavit, a security officer at a scrap metal company found an engraved vase last week. Shortly after, a man turned in nearly 350 pounds to alter and told a scale operator he'd return in December because he had more cemetery vases and copper pipe that he wanted to scrap. In our nation's capital, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says Democrats and Republicans are at an impasse over how an impeachment trial should run in the Senate. Skylar Henry has the details from Capitol Hill.
A stalemate is brewing over what an impeachment trial in the Senate would look like. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer had his first meeting yesterday with Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to discuss the trial.
I told Leader McConnell that we would not support any trial without witnesses and documents.
Democrats want to hear from key witnesses, such as acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and former National Security Advisor John Bolton, who did not testify before the House.
Calling the Chief of Staff the National Security Advisor, I think, is just way out of bounds here.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she's going to hold off on sending the articles of impeachment to the Senate until parameters for a Senate trial are laid out.
When we see the process that is set forth in the Senate. Then we'll know the number of managers that we may have to go forward.
House Democrats may be too afraid to even transmit their shoddy work product to the Senate.
First daughter and senior advisor to the president, Ivanka Trump, tells Face the Nation this process has focused the president and his base.
He's energized, as are 63 million plus voters who elected him to office.
But evangelical Christians who overwhelmingly support the president are waking up to an editorial in Christianity Today magazine calling for the president's removal from office, saying none of the president's positives can balance the moral and political danger we face under a leader of such grossly immoral character. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, President Trump fired back on Twitter, calling Christianity Today a, quote, far-left magazine, and claimed he has done more for evangelical Christians than any other president. With the Iowa caucus just 6 weeks away now, the top Democratic candidates for president continue to attack one another. At last night's debate in Los Angeles, the biggest attacks were reserved for the surging mayor of South Bend, Pete Buttigieg. Entrepreneur Andrew Yang also pointed out a lack of diversity amongst the candidates on that stage. He says that's due to fundraising thresholds. Candidates face questions on the economy, climate change, healthcare, and how they would fix what is broken in Washington. An update now on a Prairie du Sac man who has asked for as many Christmas cards as possible as his dying wish. Gene Wittenhiller has stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and thanks to all of you, his Christmas wish has come true. And then some. Gene has received more than 50,000 Christmas cards. His entire family has been trying to sort through them through different methods, too. Gene says he's so incredibly grateful to all the people who have made what he thinks will be his last Christmas so much more than what he could have ever asked for.
Almost feel selfish that somehow I've been singled out to get all these cards. I wish I could share them with everyone else that's suffering from cancer.
Gene says many cards have made his family cry, others made them laugh, which is something they say they definitely need during this tough time. If you have a moment today, please go over to channel3000.com and check out this full story. It will touch your heart this holiday season. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
You asked for it, and today we're dishing it up. I hope you're hungry. I know I am. Every year we get lots of questions from folks who are looking for new ways to serve seafood throughout the holiday season or on Christmas Eve. It seems like more and more of you want to change things up a bit and to introduce a little variety into your menus. Well, the good news is today we're sharing a recipe that looks fancy, is crazy simple, and is so good you'll be tempted to lick the plate. We begin by whipping up a shortcut Newburgh sauce that's made by combining a can of cream of shrimp soup with some cream, a bit of sherry, and a little seafood seasoning. While this simmers, we pat some scallops dry with a paper towel and season them with salt and pepper. Now these get seared in butter just for a few minutes on each side. You'll know they're done when the scallops easily release from the pan. After placing them on a platter, we add some breadcrumbs and chopped parsley into the same skillet just to let it brown. Come dinner time, drizzle the sauce over the scallops, sprinkle on the buttery breadcrumbs, and there you have it. A dish that's holiday special and is made start to finish in just minutes. To get the recipe for our seared scallops with Newburgh sauce, check out our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fancy schmancy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Coming up next at noon, the mild temperatures going to hang around through the weekend, but a rainy mix could be on the way for Christmas. Chris will have the first alert forecast that's coming up next. Welcome back. Our Call for Action volunteers are here right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline, and those volunteers will help with any consumer complaints you might have. The number is 608-270-2833. Now, just a reminder, the service is open Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays between 11 and 1. Facebook users fall victim to another data breach, and a new year, new excuse for another gym selfie. Diane Kinghall has your Money Watch report.
The last estimate of U.S. economic activity for the year shows growth in line with expectations. The Commerce Department says the economy grew 2.1% in the third quarter, powered by gains in consumer spending. Another security breach at Facebook. A cybersecurity firm says 267 million Facebook users' personal information has been exposed online. The firm says it found user IDs, names, and phone numbers on an unsecured database on the dark web. Most of the users were Americans. Facebook says it is looking into the issue. A gift at the pump this holiday season. AAA says gas prices will fall for the rest of the year, landing at a national average between $2.40 and $2.45 a gallon by the end of the month. Gas prices in the West could see the biggest drop, around a quarter. Pump prices in the South could decrease 15 cents and about a dime in the Midwest. And if you are a master of the gym selfie, there's a contest for you. Muscle Milk will give 2,020 self-proclaimed gym rats $50 each in the new year for their skills. To enter, post an endorphin-fueled photo on Instagram or Twitter using the hashtag Muscle Milk Sweepstakes. Contestants must also tag and follow Muscle Milk. The competition kicks off January 1st. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
And checking in on the stock exchange this afternoon, the Dow is up a little less than 0.5% this afternoon, I should say. NASDAQ, same deal. And the S&P 500 up about 18 points. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee. Pam, I'm so happy to see you and so happy I'm able to wish you a happy holidays before things start.
Oh, my goodness, Danica. Yes, I haven't seen you forever.
I know.
Good to see you. Congratulations, Mrs. I haven't gotten a chance to see you since then.
Thank you very much.
So.
Thank you very much. What's going on in your world?
Well, you know, actually, the Dow Jones is a good lead. You saw it's only up 0.5 point. A lot of people have settled up their business, and they're heading out of town. Here at the Radio Ranch, we're having a farm Christmas party right now. So it's getting to be that time where everybody's more in a festive mood. With holidays falling in the middle of the week, not just next week, but the week after, you can expect that there's going to be erratic trade all the way around. Most of them have already plugged in the computer numbers that they want to hit, so they're protecting themselves. Open volume has been down since yesterday, so I think that's kind of the story of the day. Livestock, same thing. If you are planning on marketing livestock in the next 2 weeks, definitely call ahead. Talk to the market manager, find out if they expect anybody to be on those seats, or better yet, just hang on to those livestock items, those cattle, those calves, whatever, until there's actually a buyer that's going to give you the price. Like I said, things have been tough enough. You don't need to worry about having somebody on the seats. Markets are a little bit higher on the midday in Chicago. We'll see how they close. I think we're going to get back probably more to neutral prices. Outside of the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, we really don't have too much news that can inspire us. The dairy markets also, after finding out that Wisconsin was about the only state that saw November milk production go down, today our barreled cheese is up 4 at 166.5. 40-pound block cheese up a penny at 186. AA butter up a half, $2.50 per pound. And Danica, this is going to do it for me for calendar year 2019. And then I'm going to start my farm tour to Panama and Costa Rica, so I will not get a chance to catch up with my News 3 viewers again unless it's on social media until about January 16th.
Well, we'll always keep track of you, the fabulous farm babe, on the social media pages. Have a happy holiday and a great time down south. That sounds wonderful.
Yep. You guys too. Have a good one.
All right, Pam. Thanks so much. Let's turn it over now to Chris Reese with that First Alert forecast. And Chris, things a little tropical in our neck of the woods too.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it feels like when you get ready to hear about the mild temperatures that we are going to discuss. I don't think 50 is going to be out of the question for some folks as we go through the weekend. We're also quiet, plenty of sunshine and dry weather as we go through Christmas Eve. But Christmas Day is special for multiple reasons. I think winter returns either on or just after Christmas Day. That's going to be the period that we use to talk about the changing pattern. Now, here's what's out there right now. High pressure towards the south and east, an area of low pressure, bringing some of that cloud cover that we do have outside. But a warm front that's going to be lifting towards the north. That's going to allow this mild and downright warm air to really move in to a large part of the country, especially as we head into tomorrow. That's why we're seeing some of the milder air air that's out there right now, but we are, again, dry underneath some of those areas of cloud cover. High-resolution Doppler giving us all a clean sweep this afternoon. Sunshine and cloud cover expected really throughout all of Dane County. Mount Horeb getting in on variably cloudy skies. Same as you work your way over towards Stoughton, Sun Prairie, we'll see variably cloudy skies. Milton, Edgerton, down through Janesville and Beloit. It's all going to be the same story for all of us. Here's a live look from the station camera right now, and you see the milky skies, but there is a little bit of blue that does show up at times. Temperature-wise, 36 right now. Winds out of the south and southeast at 9 miles per hour. That's what's helping usher in those warmer temperatures. Janesville already at 37. We're knocking on the door of 40 as you get towards Lone Rock. Plottville, Mineral Point, and Boscobel have all beat 40 with that temperature now at 41 degrees. But we are warm throughout all of southern Wisconsin. I think there might be some snow melt even throughout northern parts of the state. Let's go forward through the rest of this afternoon, shall we? 4:30, temperature should be right around 40 degrees, if not slightly above as we go through this afternoon. We'll clear skies out overnight, but we'll stay mild with that southerly wind. So look for that overnight low right around 28. Here we are tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. Temperatures will again be into the mid-40s, and we continue to warm up as we go through Sunday as well. In fact, by Sunday, we're talking 48 degrees. 47 by Monday. Here we are Christmas Wednesday. Right now our forecast high is 42. But you see the colder temperatures that come back in on the backside of that. This is our overall upper air pattern. You see that big ridge of warmer temperatures. That's responsible for the milder days that we're going to be seeing. But behind that, the colder air starts to make its way known throughout the western part of the country. That is when things may change up for us. Now, here's what I'm watching for Christmas Day. A weak system will come through. That'll bring a chance for rain. Notice the northern fringe of that. You get in on a chance of a mix or some light snow. If you want a white Christmas, keep your fingers crossed for that to trend just a little bit colder. We'll see how that plays out. After Christmas, though, is the time that I'm truly watching, folks. A lot of the models are hinting in at a storm system that comes in for the last weekend of 2019, and there may be just enough colder air that we could see some snow associated with that. It is a long way out. Still, there's a lot that could change, but that is what I'm watching in terms of the weather pattern. 40s and mild and dry as we go all the way through Christmas Day before the colder air and the chance of a wintry mix does return to our forecast.
But a nice weekend ahead.
A nice weekend ahead. It's going to be absolutely beautiful this weekend.
Breaking out the shorts.
Yep, let's do it.
Thanks, Chris. Next at noon, a wealthy businessman is inspired by Milwaukee bus drivers' reputation for helping those in need. Coming up, we'll share how he's making their holiday a little brighter this year. A wealthy businessman chose Milwaukee as his place to spread a little Christmas cheer. Emily Thornton explains how he delivered some happiness with the help of city bus drivers.
Earlier this month, when riders stepped onto an MCTS bus from a stop like this, they were greeted by drivers acting as Santa's elves.
Today I'm working for Secret Santa.
5 bus operators chosen to be this Secret Santa's sidekicks.
He proceeded to tell us what our mission was going to be, to ride around on various bus routes and select people unaware to receive a $100 gift.
For you.
Secret Santa is an anonymous, wealthy businessman who goes around the country handing out cash to random people in December.
Happy holidays.
This year, he chose Milwaukee and MCTS because of the bus drivers' reputations for helping people in need.
We got lucky enough to have this guy select us, you know, and the reaction of our community was great.
Thank you, man. God is good. It was just a great experience.
An act of kindness these elves hope continues all year long.
Always be aware of how you might be able to touch somebody's life with a smile, with a thank you, random acts of kindness all the time.
People realize that there is kindness in Milwaukee. If we continue it, hopefully it spreads more.
What a great story there. Let's get one more check on the forecast with Chris.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to continue to see variably cloudy skies as we go through today. We're turning milder. Check out the upper 40s by Sunday.